what's up and welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video, which I am so excited about because we're talking about Estée Lauder Double Wear, my most loved foundation ever. It is just the top of the top, the best of the best. If you've got oily skin, if you've got textured skin, if you struggle to get your foundation to last during the day, Estée Lauder Double Wear is just like the be all end all. It is like pain, it does not come off, but it is a full coverage formula. So in today's video, we're going to be testing the newly reformulated Estée Lauder Double Wear Sheer. So this is basically a sheer version of my most loved Double Wear. It's meant to give you all of the same amazing, staying power and oil control and shine control and be transfer resistant and everything, but be a lot sheerer and more lightweight on the skin. Now we're going to do full first impressions, a full application, close-up video, so that you can see how it looks on my skin, see what it is like, and then we're going to do a wear test. We're going to see whether or not this one is actually worth the money. So when you do purchase this, it comes in a little blue box. You open it up, and this here is the bottle. It's quite different actually to the original Double Wear bottle. Now they have done two other formulas of Double Wear in the past. Obviously the original. Oh, isn't she lovely? I seriously recommend this foundation to everybody. Like, I want this foundation printed on my tombstone. I'm that obsessed with it. But then they came out with Double Wear Nude, which was like a water light, super lightweight version of it. It was a good formula, but nowhere near as long lasting as the original. And yeah, now we have Estée Lauder Double Wear Sheer. So yeah, these are the packaging variances. Now, according to the Estée Lauder website, this is what they say. She's weightless, she's fresh feeling, she is matte, all day long wear, skin looks healthy, natural, authentic, visibly perfected with a softly diffused matte finish, undetectable formula, enhances skin with just enough coverage to let your natural beauty show. So I'm assuming this is more like a tint as opposed to like a low coverage foundation necessarily. Even skin tone, smooth skin surface, it's meant to be lightweight, comfortable. Basically you forget that it's even on your skin. Transfer resistant, sweat resistant, humidity resistant. It does have SPF in it, which is awesome as well. So it's an SPF 20. That the SPF rating may be different in your country. I don't know if you guys, maybe you're interested in this, but here in Australia, our TGA laws and our restrictions on sunscreens are insane. Like, it is harder to get a sunscreen approved here than it is to get a PlayStation 5. And that's hard. They say that it actually controls oil. They say that it is for all skin types. No caking, no streaking. Basically, it sounds like heaven in a bottle. So let's get this on my skin and actually see what it's like. Now, it's quite liquidy from what I can hear in the bottle. You take the cap off. Oh, yeah, and it's a little like squeezy top. So she is quite lightweight. Hopefully you can see that there. It's running down the back of my hand. Quite runny. Now I got the shade 3W1 Tawny. This is my exact match in the original Double Wear. So we'll see if it's actually, I'm hoping it matches my skin. Now, as always, I've applied my usual skincare, and then on this side of my face, I have applied a mattifying primer. It's actually a pore minimizing primer too. You can actually see quite a visible difference, but it's going to give us a really good chance to actually test this formula out on both sides so we can figure out whether or not a primer makes a huge difference. So let's shake, shake, shake. And I need to remember I've got this giant cup of tea here. I don't want it to go cold. Yum, it's Christmas tea. I want to put up a Christmas tree tonight. It's time. Christmas is the time to be alive. I'm not sure how I missed them releasing this. It's been out for a couple of months, I believe. I think because I've been in like a whole of lockdown depression here in Australia. I'm so excited though. So I'm going to take one of our Pro Perfecting sponges and I'm going to try applying it with this first. According to the website, you can pretty much apply it any way you like. Sponge, brush, fingertips. So we'll try it with a sponge first. I might actually just like dab it all over my skin. Oh, it is a very lightweight formula, this one. And I must say, it looks a little fairer on my skin than the original does. So yeah, I don't know. The original 3W1 Tawny's actually got like a really sort of strong-ish yellow undertone. But let's smooth this into my skin and see how we go. It literally feels like I'm applying a skincare serum. Like, no kidding. It's so lightweight. and it's kind of just melting into my skin there. The reviews for this one do look quite mixed. I think a lot of people were expecting a little bit more coverage than what they actually got out of this one. So yeah, go into this, and I mean, you know, we're obviously going to find out, but go into this expecting a skin tint. Like, it's not necessarily like a low coverage foundation necessarily. It is a skin tint. So I have blended all of that in, and honestly, it looks beautiful. Like, it definitely, you can still, hang on, I'll zoom you in. Like, it definitely still looks like my skin, but it's added a really, really sheer amount of coverage. You can still see my natural texture, but it does look a little bit more blurred. But yeah, it is a very, 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 very lightweight coverage. Let's try on the other side with a foundation brush and see what sort of results we get with that. And this is our Luxe foundation brush. I would imagine, probably because it's such a watery formula, you're going to get a better, like a fuller amount of coverage with this when using a brush. And it does look like that is correct, actually. It's almost as if I've done this before. All right, hopefully you can see the side-by-side difference in my skin here, but here it is applied with, oh my gosh, and it's dried down to this beautiful matte finish, but somehow it doesn't look matte on the skin. Like, I feel like it still looks really healthy and sort of dewy, but side by side in comparison, so with a dense kabuki brush, a foundation brush, you do get significantly more coverage. So here on this side, in comparison to the side where it is applied with a sponge, I love both sides. Both sides feel incredibly lightweight. Both sides feel, you know, I'm happy with the coverage on both sides. It just depends on if you want it to look super, 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 super natural, like no makeup kind of look, or whether you want, you know, more of a sheer coverage. So yeah, I'm really happy with these results. I am curious, if we build up a little bit more product on the side where we've applied it with a sponge, can we get it to match this side? And can we get it to do that without it getting cakey? So I'm taking a little bit more of the foundation on the sponge and I'm just going to apply it. Oh yes, it's definitely buildable, guys. It's building up really nicely now, actually. Much more coverage. Whether or not it actually stays looking like this, that is the question. I mean, that's what I love about the original Double Wear. It's the only foundation, and I mean, it was one of the first, and like, can I just say, growing up with an oily skin type, it was torture. It was literal torture. I constantly felt insecure. I was constantly checking my skin in the mirror, in compacts, constantly worried about how shiny I was, how greasy I looked, about my makeup caking and separating and all of that. And Estée Lauder Double Wear, like, it was the first formula, you know, that I discovered that actually lasted on my skin. So I could apply it in the morning and, you know, I didn't have to worry so much during the day. Like, oh, it's just got a special place in my heart. Okay, so I've applied a thin second layer to this side, and honestly the coverage is just as nice as, you know, applying it with a brush. So like I said, just depends how you want to wear it. Make it work for you. I didn't test applying it with my fingers because I honestly personally hate that. It makes a big mess. You end up with like foundation all underneath your nails and it's just not cute. So we're not testing that today, but yeah, it feels beautiful on the skin. It feels incredibly lightweight. I definitely think that it has minimized my pores. I definitely think that it has sort of perfected my skin and smoothed my skin in a way that still looks really, really natural, which is awesome to see. I honestly think it's beautiful, and it's like got this sort of satin, you know, natural kind of a glow to it, even though it's dried down, like, and it feels matte on the skin. It's a seriously beautiful formula. Whether or not it stays this way, you know, that will be the question. But I'm loving how it is looking on my skin. I'll zoom you in even more. So here we are on this side. So this is the non-primed side. I do think for sure the pores on this side of my face look significantly more, they look larger. They look much larger than the side where I did apply that primer, but it's not terrible. It's also not necessarily like, it doesn't look hideous on the skin, but I would recommend using a primer if you've got textured oily skin like me. And I mean, obviously it's going to help extend the longevity of the wear. But yeah, here's the side with the primer. I just honestly think it looks so pretty. It's light, it's fresh, it's natural, it's beautiful. I do definitely think the sheer formula is not as deep or not as dark as the original. So you may need to move down a shade darker potentially than your original double wear, but it may oxidize as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump off camera, apply the rest of my makeup, and then we'll be back to start the wear test. All right, so I've got the rest of my makeup on. I've kept it super, super natural. In terms of what I used, I put a tiny little bit of concealer only underneath my eyes, just where I had some sort of like dark areas, the Pat McGrath one, and it was really just like the tiniest amount. I did not put any more concealer on my forehead or down my nose or on my chin because I really wanted to, you know, see just how much coverage this foundation really provided. I then set everything down and I used, you guys, and this is so exciting to finally be able to talk about it on camera, our Velvet Finishing Powder Press. Now, if you missed the launch video of this, this is only just launched and it is a pressed version of our very much loved, very much just heaven in a jar, original Velvet Finishing Powder. So this comes in a handy little compact so you can throw it in your handbag to touch up on the go. It's amazing for touch-ups during the day. And at the end of this video, I will show you guys, I will touch up my skin tonight with it just so you can see how well it works. It blows the skin so incredibly well. It controls shine, it controls oil, it minimizes pores, it minimizes fine lines, gives your skin an amazing, amazing velvety texture, and it's also still infused with all of these same incredible ingredients as our original loose. Comes with a little touch-up sponge under there. So exciting. So yeah, I used that to set everything down. I honestly think that my skin looks beautiful. Like, it is a low coverage for sure, but it is still really, really perfected. Like, it just looks and feels beautiful. So far, I am really, really impressed with this formula. I would say, I mean, obviously with the brush application, it was a little bit more than a skin tint. And then with the original application with the sponge, it was more of a skin tint. So yeah, like, I love that it's customizable, like the way that you can apply it customizes the way that it looks on the skin. It is not emphasizing any of my pores. It just looks beautiful. It honestly looks beautiful and it feels like I am not wearing any foundation at all. Like, it feels amazing on my skin. So let's zoom in. This here is what my skin is looking like. It looks like my skin but better, honestly. Like, it looks like I have gone on Photoshop and smoothed out my skin, honestly, and covered up darkness and redness. But you can still see like my natural skin's texture. You can still see like my freckles and things, but just in like this really, really beautiful natural-ish kind of way. I love the way that it looks on the skin, honestly. Like, there's no other words. Incredibly lightweight. I'm not seeing any caking or any settling. There's maybe a tiny little bit of settling just in this smile line here. We've got zero settling on my forehead. Like, my forehead looks smooth as. Like, it's actually crazy how smooth my forehead looks. I do still think definitely the side where I have not applied a primer, it is still looking a little bit more textured. Like, I feel like my pores look a little bit larger just on this sort of portion here. Portion. My face is like a cake. That was weird. Like, I honestly just think it looks beautiful. Like, hand in hand, this and this. Damn, I am impressed. So what we're going to do now is start our wear test. I will take a flash photo as well, just to check if there's any white cast or any white flashback, because it does have SPF 20 in it. I'm assuming that it's probably going to be okay, but I'll do it anyway. And then I will see you guys in about 6 hours. So we're going to start wearing it. I'm going to try and keep this one on my skin for absolutely as long as possible. So I'll see you in about 6 hours, and then I'll see you later on again tonight. We'll see how it is held up. If it stays looking like this on my skin, like you guys, I will be wearing this every single day because it is so comfortable and amazing. And then, like I said, I'll show you a little touch up with our new pressed powder so that you can see just how well it touches up the situation. All right, guys, I will talk to you soon. All right, guys, so we are back with our first check-in of the day. Oh, and I just quickly wanted to say, no real white flashback with flash photography, so we are good to go. So I have now been wearing this on my skin for about 6 hours, and I have to say, it is looking pretty good. So everything still looks quite smooth, quite flawless. It still feels incredibly lightweight on my skin. I really don't feel like I'm wearing a foundation, but then I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, my skin looks nice. Like, I've got makeup on. We are getting a little bit of shine sort of coming through the T-zone. Like, you can sort of see it like on the sides of my nose here. It's mostly centered sort of on my forehead and just down my nose. maybe a little bit on my chin. There's not really any caking or any separation or anything. Like as far as that goes, things are still looking quite fresh. Overall, for 6 hours, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. I certainly wouldn't say that it is as matte and as sort of budge proof as the original Double Wear formula. Like I said, that is just like literal paint. Once it is on the skin, it does not budge. But overall, shine control is really quite good. Oil control is really quite good. No caking, no separating, and it still does look quite airbrushed on the skin. So let's zoom in, and here is my skin close up. It's just got this really soft, kind of dewy, satin, natural kind of finish to it. My pores definitely do still look more emphasized on this side, I will say. But look, we've got no creasing up on my forehead. The little bit of creasing that we had in my little smile line on this side has definitely settled right down. Like it's hardly noticeable now. No caking, no splitting, no separation. The product doesn't look like it's just sitting on top of my skin. Like it does still look really beautiful and smooth. Overall, I am very, very happy. So for 6 hours, cannot complain. But let's see how another 6 hours go, and let's see if it actually, because if it stays looking like this, very impressed. Okay, so we are back with our final check-in for this one now. So in total, I have now been wearing this foundation for almost 13 hours. So definitely a decent amount of time. And I gotta say, guys, like I am pretty dang impressed with these results. Now, definitely some shine has come through. Definitely I'm starting to feel quite oily, but overall the foundation has still held up really, really well. I'm still not seeing caking. I'm still not seeing any separation or anything. And the shine on my skin, I feel in my opinion is at like a reasonable, like manageable level. Ordinarily I probably at this point would want to powder down my T-zone just to continue on with the rest of my day. But you couldn't complain. Like, it's like a dewy. It's not like, well, I've dunked my head in a bucket of oil. It's sort of more on like the dewy sort of level. Like, even on the side of my nose, it's nowhere near as shiny as some other formulas. Now, as far as transfer, I feel like the product has stayed in place really quite well. I was not going to lie, I was mucking around with a wig earlier, putting a wig on and then pulling it off. And so I have lost a little bit of product around my hairline here, but that was entirely my fault. But as far as like, day-to-day things that I normally would do, like rubbing my nose or leaning on my hands and things like that, the product has actually stayed pretty well intact, which is really good to see. There's nothing missing off the tip of my nose. There's nothing missing off the sides of my jawline or anything. Like, it does look pretty damn good. And I do think even, like, despite the fact that the oil has come through and despite the fact that I am looking sort of, shiny through the center here, I still don't feel like it is necessarily heavily emphasizing my pores. Like, I still feel like it looks pretty smoothing on the skin. So let's zoom in and have a closer look, and then I'll do a quick touch up and we can see just how well this one looks after that. Okay, so here we are close up. Not bad for a natural foundation. I would say definitely I prefer this particular formula over the Double Wear Water. What was that one called? The Double Wear Nude Water Wear Foundation or whatever it was called. That one was kind of like this, but it didn't hold up as well as this one. Like, I do feel like this one definitely holds up more. And I will say also I do have more shine on the side. So I've got the mattifying primer on this side. So I do have more shine on the side of my face that is not primed. Ordinarily, like always, you would expect that. So yeah, overall, I prefer the wear on the primed side. But at the same time, even on this non-primed side, even on top of just my skincare, this foundation holds up pretty damn well. Like, it definitely still looks really, really nice on my skin, in my opinion. Like, overall, guys, I'm quite impressed. We've got no caking, we've got no separating. Yeah, not bad for a natural foundation. Like, honestly, I really do like this formula, and I will definitely be, using it moving forward. Now, as promised, let's do a quick touch up of this and just see how it kind of looks on the skin after it is touched up. I am, of course, going to be using our new Velvet Finishing Powder Pressed, like I said. This is such a handy way to touch up. You just throw this in your handbag and then, apply it on the go. So I'm going to take the application sponge and I'm just going to rub it in here. It's such a beautiful, smooth, buttery formula. It's amazing. Now, when doing this, I would recommend just sort of putting a little bit on the back of your hand and then just press this little sponge onto the areas of your skin where you want to do the touch-ups. There's no special tricks to this. There's no gimmicks or anything. You literally just apply it straight to the skin. It will absorb the oil. It will remove the shine. And it will make your skin look super blurred and fresh, like your foundation is just, it's been applied freshly all over again. And the results of this do last a really long time too, like certainly a lot longer than any other pressed powders that I've got. So you can see here side by side, this side is looking really nice and matte, and it just feels like fresh foundation again, like it feels beautiful. In comparison to this side where I'm still shiny, still glowy, still dewy, still oily. So let's repeat the process. So there you go. That is what the foundation looks like with my skin touched up. It feels fresh. It looks fresh again. I feel like it looks absolutely beautiful on my skin again. Very blurring, like my pores all look really nice and minimized. And I've not actually really lost any foundation off the skin too, which is awesome. Yeah, I'd happily leave this for another 6 hours, honestly. Like it looks incredible again now. That is really, really good. Hey, not a bad result. So there you go, guys. Those are all of my thoughts on the brand new Estée Lauder Double Wear Sheer Foundation. Definitely a thumbs up from me. Like I said, not as long lasting as the original, but a really, really good option if you're looking for like a natural, like really natural sort of looking makeup. But I hope that this video was helpful. As always, if you've got any questions at all, please pop them down below. Let me know all of your thoughts. Have you tried this foundation? Did you like it? I want to hear from you. I want to know what you thought it looked like on my skin. Did you think that it looked nice? Did you think that it looked smoothing? Or did you think that it looked terrible? I want to know all of your thoughts down below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and if it was in some way helpful. I love you guys heaps. Have a great day and I will catch you in my next video.